Welcome to week one and project one. Make sure you review the introduction video from Dr. Maravitz as well as the video announcement that I provided sharing some secrets to success and course expectations. Let's dive right in. So your first project, imagine that you are creating a new department. You have to staff the department, you got to create an organization chart, come up with the title, the mission, the vision, the logo, all those fun things when we first start a new department. You're also going to develop a change management plan, and you're going to make this presentation to leadership. Now, this first project spans the first 3 weeks. Okay, so 3 weeks, you can look at that date on the calendar and think, plenty of time. No, you don't. It's going to come by quick. Okay, it's going to come at you quickly. It's going to go by very, very fast. So, the idea is that we're going to try to apply as much learning as possible in as short amount of time as possible. We want to make efficient use of your time during our time together. And it's applied learning that will really help you in the real world. Okay, so again, it's not about getting a grade or just getting it done. Put that aside. It's about how much you can get out of this time together so that you can apply these real world principles in a real organization. Confucius advised us that we hear, we forget, we see, we remember, we do, and we understand. Okay, we want to understand, so we must act, we must participate, we must do, as Confucius says. We have to practice as if we're really doing this in a real organization. Now, we do have standards that have to be met. Those standards are outlined in the rubric, so make sure you read those. You'll want to focus on those that, if you're trying to exceed expectations or, of course, meet expectations. And just a reminder that most of you will meet expectations. That's our expectation, right? That you're going to meet those standards. A very few of you may exceed expectations, and if you're one of those folks who wants to strive for that, by all means. But if you don't exceed, don't fret about it. Again, we want you to meet those expectations. There are a few that exceed them. Of course, we don't want anyone who winds up failing to meet expectations. So reach out early if you have questions or having any difficulties or concerns. Don't wait until that last week to, start working on the project and realize that you're not clear on what the expectations are or you're behind. So I'm going to quickly kind of go through the 3 weeks. I don't want to spend a lot of time. You can read that on your own, but you're going to introduce yourself in the discussion area. Take some time to do this. It's a nice way to kick off the class. And, if we were in a face-to-face traditional classroom, that would happen on our first meeting together. We have to do it remotely and asynchronously here online. But, share a little bit about yourself, maybe a picture or two so we can kind of get an idea of with whom we're speaking. If you haven't already done so, make sure you review the syllabus. Of course, it's subject to change, but it will kind of provide a roadmap for you. Review the course projects and the related competencies that go along with that. Make sure you complete that academic integrity tutorial. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is important. You have to get that done to continue the course. And then start working on your project. Again, those 3 weeks are going to go by quicker than you think. And there's no better time than the present to at least start working on those projects. There's 4 steps you have to get through. Of course, consult with faculty anytime you have questions, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you succeed, much like if we were working together, forming a new department. I'm going to be helping you with that. In week 2, you continue to work on the project through step 7. You're going to be posting your draft change management plan for peer review. And let me address this just for a moment. Oftentimes in a workplace, some of the best feedback, some of the best growth, some of the best input that we get are from our peers. And so that's why we have this built into the program, because we find, survey after survey shows us that some of the most enjoyable and practical and helpful tips come from peers. And so, expect that, and in return, make sure that you pay it forward and help your classmates get better. I always encourage people to use the golden rule. Imagine that you were that student or peer getting that feedback. How would you want to get that feedback in a very constructive way, and in a way that, hey, great job. That doesn't really help, right? Great job, and here are some areas that I thought you might be able to improve upon. Okay, that gets us to week 3. You're going to be incorporating that feedback you got from your peers, any feedback that I provided, and then you're going to complete and submit project 1. Now, here's what I encourage folks to do, and many of you will do this, and you will thank me later. Submit that project early, okay? I've had students who will submit that at the end of week 2. And that's okay. You don't have to wait till week 3 to do it. But certainly, the earlier in week 3 you submit it, the better. And I say that because, remember, we don't want anybody to fail to meet expectations. We want everybody to meet expectations. You turn it in early, we've got some time, right? I can look at it. I can offer some tips and give you a chance to resubmit. There are some resubmission requirements that have to be made. You can look at those if you need to, and those are normally like after it's due. I don't like to get into that situation. I always encourage students to get it done early, and you'll be much happier, a lot less stress, and you'll get much better feedback that way as well. Okay, I'll always remind you, make sure you stay ahead, stay engaged, especially with those peer reviews during these next 3 weeks, and of course, as always, enjoy your time of learning.